And good morning and afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Seattle Snooker Open of 2025. We got some round robin matches to clean up before we get into the knockout phase a little later today. It's David Burney in the booth. Happy that you're joining us, whether you find us on Facebook or YouTube. Look on Facebook, check out Empire Billiards page, and on YouTube, Ox Billiards' page. They have two channels going. We're glad you're tuning in to the event here at Empire, as well there's channel 2 over at Ox Billiards, as they have a few round robin matches. But Prathamesh Sawant taking on Ethan Huang. Looking to be a great match here. Ethan kind of is on the bubble a little bit. This is an important match for him. If he wins, he's definitely going to move on. Because if he does lose, that might put him in just a tie with Chris Lamb. So it's basically just put your foot on the ground and win the match. But Prathamesh set to break us off in this best of three. Both these players have two matches, so Prathamesh, so I'm just looking at the standings on the challenge site. You can find all the results over there, challenge.com/SSO25 Empire Ox. That's where you'll find all the results. It's challenge.com/SSO25 Empire Ox. I'm just looking at the Prathamesh does have 2 wins and 2 losses, but he does have 2 matches as well today, so I think he's got to at least win one of them. If Ethan can defeat Prathamesh here, he's going to put Prathamesh in a bit of trouble. So he's raising of a hand, apologizing for the fluke. Was to go safe. It's knocked in a red. How he's feeling this morning? Is he feeling aggressive, or is he just going to gingerly roll up behind the green? Nice weight. We do have an active chat on our stream, so if you have any comments or questions, feel free to chime in. You know, we have well-versed players, we have new players that are watching, so sometimes players might not know what's the value of that blue. It's 5 points, so there's no stupid questions. We're here to answer them all because we want to just grow this great game in America. It's seen a really good surge and a great regrowth north of the border in Canada, so things are looking really nice for the game of snooker in North America. This phase of the tournament, there are, when a foul miss happens, there are 3 attempts, 2 putbacks. So this is the second attempt for Prathamesh. Just wants to come off the 2 cushions and just gingerly tap up to the red. It's getting a little costly right now, but it is early. Lots of points on the table. Let's see if he can make do on his 3rd attempt. This looks a lot better. Oh, just short. Oh. Ethan does have the opportunity to put Prathamesh back in from here. Take the shot, and looks like a pretty elementary safety, clipping off a red, coming into the ball carrier. Got to watch out for that. Ooh, middle pocket. Didn't go in off, but hit the horn, and that really stopped the path of the cue ball. Attempt on the rest. Almost fluked it into the top left corner. Now, Prathamesh does have this red just above the black. Looks like he's taking the one a bit further up. Oh, tough with his cue ball up against the cushion. You can't use much of the cue ball. Being on top, always a chance of unwanted side. The side, Ethan's probably going to have to put a little bit of side on this shot just to shoot it back up table. A lot, just a trace of it. It's just a scoring update when Ethan went down to hit that safe shot and his cue ball clipped out the horn. He actually touched a red, so he called a foul on himself. Admirable. There's always great sportsmanship in this game. Scores should be correct. 20-4 for Ethan Yuang. For Prathamesh Sawant, frame one, best of three. Ethan was on our broadcast first thing yesterday. He was in a match with CCU to kick off the tournament. He had some moments of brilliance, but I'd definitely say if he was going to defeat CC, he was going to have to really capitalize on a few of the mistakes that CC made. Now that he's got his feet wet a little bit in the tournament, maybe you'll see the great ability that Ethan has. But he's in tough against Prathamesh. Both great players that live up here in the Pacific Northwest area of the United States. Got a red into the left middle, just once again having that cue ball right on the cushion just makes it that much more trickier. You don't have a lot of the cue ball to work with, and as well your bridge hand. He might just have his fingers just, there you go, as you can see on the picture there. A little unorthodox with the bridge hand on the cushion. Nice little 13, but right now he's going to have to put on a great color to keep the break going. Yeah, the tough blue. Prathamesh with the long red. I'd like to get that red away from the black. Open up that black, and as well, pink is engulfed with a bunch of cherries. Prathamesh's last shot had a little element of safe, as you can see the result of where his cue ball is. Now he's opened up the black. He hasn't really left any easy red for Prathamesh, so one mission objective complete is to free up that black. Prathamesh just clipping off this red on the left cushion. Get his cue ball deep into the bulk area, hopefully nestled tight to that bulk cushion. Maybe a shot to nothing here with this red out in the open on the left side. Come off the top cushion, come back into the bulk. He's just going to maybe roll up on the green again. And in between, does he want to take this brown into the left middle? The angle will bring him back down to the reds. Always tricky in these short frame matches. We see it a lot more in the pro game, obviously, one costly mistake. There are a few players that can score heavily, but obviously having the tournament pressure, sometimes it's not just one mistake, it's a few mistakes that are going to cost you a frame. I'm just struggling a little bit early on to find the bottom of the pocket with the red. Left a thin cut on this red. I think too, if he misses it, he might be canning into that red right beside it. And if he is to falter on his pot, might be giving Prathamesh a prime opportunity. Those two reds above the black. Dangerously looking to go into the top left corner. So a lot of pressure on this shot. I want to avoid the cannon, but goes in off. Unbelievable. We just have a shot to nothing here on that red, the right of the brown, the pathway. To have slid past that yellow nut cannon into it, but still. Ethan's got long reds. They're tricky. Is he feeling up to the challenge? Nicely struck. It's nice to see, if you watch Ethan stroke, a real long, deliberate pause in that backswing. Just sign up where he has to be after this blue. Take one of these reds into the top right corner. Careful he's not snookered himself. And he's taken one red out of the equation. So he's got the red on the right side. With a smile and a shake of the head, just knew he just ran just a bit too far on position for the black. It's thin cut on either, both blue or black. Blue has a bit more open of a pocket into the middle. So I think he's just going to elect to play safe, maybe try and get behind the yellow off this green. Bad containing safety shot there by Prathamesh. Obviously, you have to be mindful of that in-off. Do a lot with the cue ball. He was tight to that bulk cushion, so. Left a red into the left middle for Ethan. Certainly isn't a gimme. If he's to miss, his cue ball might be sticking around some other reds, so. Just gonna elect to play safe, run and hide. Get back up into the bulk area. Create some difficulty for his opponent. All no snookers. Really a game of what you make, it's what you leave. This Marco Few exclusive cloth playing really nice. All the players thoroughly enjoying it. Tables here at Empire and as well the tables at Ox. Freshly clothed with that great cloth. Just lightly maybe flicked on that red on the right side. The two that are by the pink might be able to avoid the in-off. Yeah, there's definitely not a lot of paths to get him back down to bulk, so just contain and keep his cue ball down at the top end, but not leave an easy starter for Prathamesh. It's like he's taking this blind cut for this red just below the black spot. It's tricky. Obviously, one trickiness is obviously you don't have the pocket in your view when you're down at the table, hence a blind pocket. And with the ball kicking up towards the bulk area of the table, it's going to cannon into a ball, which it did. It's given Ethan a very thin cut into this top right corner. Got to be mindful of cueing over that red as well. Brown's being a little bit of a nuisance. It was a thin and tricky black. With Prathamesh, a couple options. Obviously, that red that is closest to his cue ball is there, but that's involving a rest and negotiating the green and blue. Because I think he does have the pathway to this red that's just left of the black. Should have the pathway to the potting angle. His shot, he can put his hand right on the bed of the table, take his natural stroke. Get a path for a different one. It's a nice red, but unfortunately he's just not really on a color. Lots of balls moving there, but he's okay. Just tough to see the pathway back to bulk for him. Two reds glued together. It'd be lovely if the bottom of the two was just a little closer to the pink, as he might have a potential of a shot to nothing there. Looks like he's just letting our good friend Charlie Brown take his shot. Charlie's in a match there on our other table here at Empire Billiards. Come up with a good save here as there's some open reds on the right side. With that cue ball tight to the cushion, he can't draw it back. Could have been better, could have been worse. Which does have a red to the right middle. Like just, one good pot by Prathamesh might just get him going. Shows you how quick these cloths are. Definitely all these tables are heated, so a little warm slate helps all roll a little bit more. It's a bit too high on that green. If it was a bit more flatter, definitely up in the color ball you'd like to take. Prathamesh just having to think. I don't know if this red passes that blue, the potting path to the top left. I think if it was on, he'd be down pretty quick. It's trailing by 23 points. There's 67 on the table, so still anyone's frame. It's the first one, best of three. It's a nice snooker there by Prathamesh. Took his medicine. Yeah, some big matches after this. Obviously, Prathamesh is going to be battling CCU. CCU already is moving on. He's got 4 wins, but definitely like to be 5-0, get some better seeding in the knockout phase. And Ethan Huang will take on Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown, who's in action right now. He does have 2 wins to the good for him. Yeah, as a player, and probably they won't deny any extra pressure of playing on the TV table, but I'm pretty sure psychologically something comes into play a little bit when they get the announcement that they will be on the TV table. That's not his worst shot he's ever played. Got a little fortunate there. Great Cliff Wilson. Whenever he fluke, he wouldn't raise his hand. He pretty much would laugh in the player's face. There's certainly always a wide variety of characters. Pick up a snooker cue. Great Canadian writer Mordecai Richler wrote a book called On Snooker, filled with great tales. All the players. It's not heavy reading. It's a nice, good read. Definitely recommend. As our good friend in the community, Dave Hendon, is launching a book, Pots of Gold, looking to come out in the fall. Wishing Dave all the best with that. Myself personally had the good fortune of actually being on Snooker Scene podcast with Dave Hendon. We recorded it in the commentary box at the famed Crucible Theater. Boy, you had to pinch me. I thought I was dreaming. As well, Dave interviewed Seattle's own Dave Daly. So definitely take a look in the back catalog. Listen to those episodes. They're always good fun. And I don't think there is a point that you have to have a name Dave to be on the Snooker Scene podcast. It just happens that there is a lot of Daves in this game. I guess that's why they put the D up there in the bulk area. Is this where Prathamesh can kind of turn it on a little bit? He's got he's got that open red. I think he can just kind of run through, have the red into the right middle. It's also a red that's just close to the top right corner as well, but just being along the cushion and just off makes it just a little bit tricky. And just a few reds and blacks, and he's right back in this frame. Oh, the commentator's curse freezes his head. That's why I thought Prathamesh might just be going. Look at his stretching out there. Completely legal. Obviously, as long as one foot is touching the ground, even the toe can be touching the ground. It is a legal shot. Obviously, if 2 feet are in the air, it is a foul. And that's just a connection of the shot. Obviously, if he's taking the shot and the ball's already in motion and the foot comes up, it is still legal. He's wishing that red is a different color than its rouge. This is ugly bridging over the green for the blue ball. Definitely that was a tricky shot on the blue. Just doesn't want to leave this red on. Just give him a slight chance there. Prathamesh just waiting for the top table. As you can see, I'm not sure who that is. That looks like Charlie's opponent there. Simon Wong there. Surprised if he takes this on. You got a couple of reds that are tied up on that top cushion, so. Very nicely done. Yeah, having chats with the players sometimes. Some players have asked, actually, is it illegal if they just smashed open the reds? And it's a completely legal shot. You don't see it that much in snooker as we're accustomed to the pros. They're just so proficient at the game, and you give them one chance, you're probably going to be sitting for a good half hour as they reel off a century break. But here in the amateur game, I don't mind that mindset. Opening up the balls, putting the pressure on your opponent, continuously making balls. Like a maximum break is 37 pockets. It's 15 reds with 15 blacks, and then the 6 colored balls. So that's a lot of consistency that you need to perform there. In the amateur scene, some people don't have centuries and stuff like that. So, myself personally, my high run is a 47. I'm pretty sure when I start getting into a 40, that back arm might be shaking just a little bit as I'm getting close into new country. They say, once you get a century, these do start coming. Right now we don't have a century at all in the tournament. We do have Andy McCluskey with the high run so far, 71. Ethan's going to be too happy with that. There's a path for this red to go into the yellow pocket. That other red is off the cushion, so a little navigation work here for Prathamesh, and he could steal this first frame. He's got to make a pot, and he might have, in turn, left the same red on for Ethan. Is there a pathway past that blue to get to the potting angle for the red? There's a path here for Ethan to the top right corner. And have a pathway to bulk after it. Could be a good shot to nothing here. Was a path, but he's missed, and the Prathamesh would have loved that red to hold up a little bit sooner. Give him a rather relatively easy shot into the right middle. This red does go into the green pocket. He's not opting for it. Maybe it didn't go. Is he tight to that green? Is that going to affect the pathway? I think Ethan might just be able to get by, not disturbing that green and being able to hit the red. Even forced him to have the right angle to get just that cue ball behind the black. Oh, double kiss. He has left it. It's not a sitter. It's got to go from one side of the table to the other. So always a little bit of toughness to get those. Gotta think Prathamesh is wanting to take this on. Well, certainly thought about it, rattled in the jaws a little bit, but it's there. And as we do so many times in the amateur game, it comes down to the colors. It's a 6-point differential right here. Let's see. Prathamesh could make that a little bit smaller by putting in a color. And then with that lone red, that's going to leave 35 on. Maybe just was trying to force that green just to get good position on the red. Sometimes you just got to look at it and know your abilities. And if the shot isn't there, maybe just put all your concentration onto that colored ball, the green in his place for Prathamesh. But then he'll still be at the table and he could play a telling safety afterwards. I wonder if Prathamesh might just be popping up a little bit. Usually very disciplined. I was just looking at the replay of that last red that Prathamesh had, and you can see just as he's kind of bringing the cue back, he just comes up just ever so gently. Well, into a free ball position here. So Prathamesh can put him back, can put his opponent to shoot from there. Or Prathamesh can take a shot on it. In the free ball situation, that's obviously when a player has made a shot and they've fouled, and the result of the shot is snookered your opponent on the next object ball. That results in a free ball. And I don't know if Ethan is snookered here. You could see, both sides of the ball. He will be warned after this. So if there is a red on, fully on, both sides, you get it both sides of it. And you miss it once, you miss it twice, and the referee, but in this case, with no referees, your opponent would act as a referee and tell you if you don't hit the red on the next shot, that it's a concession of a frame. Not just 4 points, a frame. As well as time wasting is a big penalty as well. Obviously, that is a judgment call, and I think it would be heavily monitored. I've never seen time wasting penalty called in snooker, as that also results into a frame penalty, not just the 4 points. The player that is convicted of time wasting sacrifices a frame. Good hit on the second opportunity. I don't think there was just like a really easy color ball for Prathamesh to take as his red and then follow it up with another color afterwards. So hence that's why I believe he put him back. But sometimes all these players need is just one attempt, and they're usually successful on the second. All over on our Ox Billiard feed on YouTube. Like there was a little interview with Dave Daly, like Minga's conducted over there just before the matches got started. If you want to hear that, definitely take a look at that stream from Ox Billiards. I like that one. Coming over to look at his handiwork. Be able to hit one cushion and knock into the red here for Prathamesh. Only trailing by 4 points, 35 on the table. Nervy first frame, really. No one's really gotten to the driver's seat. Well, he successfully hit it. He successfully put distance between object and cue ball. Fortunate part is there is a potential pot, but this is traveling a lot of distance. I wonder if Prathamesh just kind of baited him into taking that long one. Stroke the ego sometimes, a player. Sometimes you gotta refuse. It's like potentially maybe a little discussion off table, or one of the players is just headed off for a comfort break. They are allowed, usually, obviously, when the call of nature comes, usually it's best to do it in between frames. But obviously, in the middle of the frame, if nature's calls, you got to go. You don't want to have that nagging in the back of your head. So, I think we're all good now. Prathamesh, great opportunity here. Just trailing by 4 points. Got a red into the left middle. There's no safe color, so really, world is his oyster here. Prathamesh has been gifted some good opportunities here. He just hasn't been able to pull the trigger. This game is very difficult, obviously. If you're familiar to the pro scene, they make it look incredibly easy. That comes with lots and lots of practice, I think. Stephen Hendry in his prime probably was 8 hours practicing 6 days a week. So you really got to put it in the time if you want the results. Sullivan hits about 20,000 pockets a week. Pockets 20,000 balls, so. Yeah, just noting the thing a little bit with Brajman, just a little bit of head movement when he brings the cue back and drives it through. He is able to put Ethan in a snooker here. Solid hit. It's to run, get tight to that cushion. Yeah, so. Got this frame getting close to the 60-minute mark. Prathamesh trying to put it in. Has he got the cover behind the pink? Oh, I think he does. He's okay. Yeah, going back to timing, I was fortunate enough to be in Sheffield, England this year for the World Championships, and there was a session that Zhao Xingtang, the world champion, he had 4 frames. He won all 4 frames, and it took him about 44 minutes. Just Zhao is a sight to see. A really nice lad, very humble, a good ambassador for a world champion, especially China's first. I think eventually we knew it was going to happen. We just didn't know who or when. He's got a nice angle on this blue. I'm up for the yellow. This blue's his last colored ball, and then we're on to the colors, and that order is potting the yellow, green, brown, blue, pink, and if needed, black. All you newcomers. When a red is potted, you have selection of any colored ball, but you do have to hit a colored ball. You can't hit another red after a red. Obviously, sometimes we see a shot where a player hits a red, they put it in, the cue ball's still rolling, hits another red and goes in. A perfectly legal shot. You get 2 points to the good. Obviously, when you pocket a red and all the balls have come to the rest, you have to take on a colored ball. 10 points in this first frame, 42-32 for Ethan Huang over Prathamesh Sawant. There's 27 points on the table. No real color safe, so really not a lot of distance to travel, really. This is probably the big shot here, going from green to brown. You watch a traditional break, sometimes those ball colors don't get disturbed at all, as the professionals are really hanging around the top end of the table, hitting reds with blacks. But I always say the big shot when a clearance is going brown to blue. That is his frame ball. As you can see, that will put him 19 ahead, green 18. But obviously, he'd like to clear up right here, at least take brown to pink. Gonna have to go in and out of bulk after this brown to be on the blue. And with 19 ahead, he can just kind of gingerly hit this blue into the top left as he rolls it in slow, gives the pocket that much more to gobble it up. But if he leaves it in the jaws, it's not the end of the world, as Prathamesh does need at least one snooker to, he wants to be victorious. But oh, what a blue there. Great long pot, just cannon it into the pink afterwards. This should be first frame towards Ethan Hung. And a nice little 27 there. Up 6. So 33 to help him get that first frame on the board. So we'll see what Prathamesh can do. Can he push us into the decider and be victorious in the second frame? Or will Ethan Huang get the whitewash and a well-needed victory in his quest to become the Seattle Snooker Open champion? And welcome back to our featured match here between Prathamesh Sawant and Ethan Huang. Ethan set to break off in frame two, was victorious in that first frame. Real nice 33 to run out to take that first frame. Usually if you're on that side of the blue after a breakoff shot, it's usually not that great, but he's had a result here being close to the blue. Got an easy 3-cushion escape. Just took the 2 cushions, but nicely done. Nice little rub against that brown. It's taken out the right side of the table. Ethan does have a clip. And this red that's open left of the pack. A nice result there, Ethan. Just put his cue ball in front of the brown to make some awkward bridging for Prathamesh. You'll see with his bridge hand. Looking to just get flat and just going to take off a side cushion and roll delicately into the pack. Doesn't want to slide off. Nice. Good contact there. As he left one on and just Ethan taking a look to see if it's touching ball. You can see there that he's let his opponent know. Prathamesh just coming to double check just to make sure. Always good to announce things. There's no referee present, just make sure everything is clear. On that touching ball situation, with the red being the cue ball touching the red ball, that acts as first contact so he can shoot away. Now, if that red moved a little bit, that would be considered a push shot, and that would be a foul of 4 points. Just going for a little bit of gusto there. Just a shot, a little bit of frustration. Now he set up a nice opportunity here for Ethan. It's a little distraction by something. Great discipline there to get up, recompose yourself. Something's amiss. Just wipe the slate clean. Go back to your pre-shot routine. When you're ready for the shot, commit to it. I would have loved that to pull up just a little bit, but red is still on there. Just so you can look to see if that blue does pass the other red into the right middle. He's just waiting for a shot to be completed on the table to the right. Not sure if that's a match or just a gentleman practicing over there. Ooh. Just a little lapse in concentration. Was he thinking about the blue? I think you can't get ahead of yourself. Back at the Women's U.S. Open at Ox a few years back, we had the distinct pleasure of having An Yi in the booth, and it was great to hear of her process. As she's walking around the table, she's surveying, looking at what's ahead of her, what the first shot is, and then the next, and the next. So she's got 3 shots ahead. She's got that focus, and she wipes that away, knows what she has to do with the one shot in front of her, and puts all her attention onto that, not thinking anything, knows that her technique is going to work out for her to be in the next shot. And she in turn won that tournament, so it's pretty good advice. And both players are taking their shots. Don't refuse a lot. This is a messy situation here for Prathamesh. She's going to be needing to use the rest. One red in the middle of the 3 there is not sticking out enough that he can just clip it into the pocket. It looks like there's got to be some sort of plant going on here. Looks from our angle. I'm not too, obviously, I don't have the best vantage point, but this looks like he might have to hit the left side of that top red, so it shoots to the right and clips the right side of that middle red and makes that go left into the top left corner. We're always open to sessions. We do have an active chat where you can fire any comments or questions. Let us know where you're tuning in from. It's David Burney in the booth. This is the Seattle Snooker Open of 2025. This is a round-robin match between Prathamesh Sawant and Ethan Huang. We will be getting into the knockout phase here. Definitely on the schedule, we do have the first round, and they're just debating the tournament directors if we're going to get into the quarterfinals as well today. The one caveat to that, obviously, is we have 2 venues, so there are some players that are playing in the round of 16 over at Ox. So it's about a 20-minute drive to here, from Ox to here at Empire. Well, that's the one thing that they're questioning. But hopefully they can, and then we can have a super Sunday with just the semis and the finals. As past champions, all are playing well. CCU, Arun Junajay, and Andy McCluskey, all top of their group, all undefeated. Unblemished record. looking at those standings that are over on Challenge. Signed results updated. It's challenge.com/SSO25 Empire Ox. It's on the Challenge site. You'll find all the results there. It's quite surprised looking at the results last night. Commentating on Alex Newstead's match. He just looked incredible against Kevin Cue, but that was his only win. Seems like the rocket ship took off, but then it quickly erupted into flames. Talking to Christian as well last night. I just wrap up the streaming producer. Hopefully we'll get Christian in a little bit later to add some commentary as well, give his great insight. He was letting me know that just Alex is a phenomenal practicer and just really great ability. There's the one practice drill where you put a red and the black up, hit the red, hit the black in, and put the black back on the spot. Put now 2 reds on the table, clear that, and 3 reds. And he says Alex has done it up to 5 numerous times, so it's impressive making 10 shots in a row. A slim advantage, only 7-2. It's like the first quarter of an NFL football game. Distracted by some administrative stuff, but that was definitely a nice red there by Prathamesh. It could be a good confidence builder. He's nice on the black. I think just gonna get the elusive 8. Yeah, he's left a long red here for Ethan. No, valiant effort. He wasn't going to really be leaving anything easy. See, he's left himself, if he was to get that red with a blind cut on the black, and that would have been a little dicey as the natural angle would take him into those reds. A nice angle on that yellow. Come back down table. I was going to elect for the blue. Does have the red on the right side. Ooh. Well, he's giving them a chance. I think that pink also covers the path for that red to go to the left middle. But Ethan putting all his focus on this red that's close to the top left corner. Just being a hair off the cushion makes it that much more difficult. If it was glued to the cushion, the old theory always says, with your cue ball, hit the object ball and the cushion at the exact same time, and that object ball will just hug the cushion all the way down to the bottom of the pocket. Certainly is a path for this red to the yellow pocket, but that's got to go a lot of different distance to be successful. Just opting to play the safe shot. He knows that this is a big match for him. So it looks like Charlie Brown won his match over Simon Wong. So fortunately, Simon with 4 losses probably will be not moving on. He'll have one more match to play. Be battling Chris Lamb, and might be just a battle of the bottom boys. A little safety exchange here with these two players. Unfortunate in-off there by Prathamesh. Hasn't really gifted an opportunity there for Ethan. We get into that black, but hasn't really sold out anything there. Little safety shot should open up these reds from Prathamesh. And it's getting to be a messy frame with 6 reds below the black spot. I think sometimes for these long reds that are out in the open, why not tie up the shoes and go for it? Still there. Kicked a little red closer. I thought he might have taken the shot onto nothing. That red that's just by the black for Prathamesh. Take that, and there might have been an angle just to come off the top cushion. But it's certainly getting real messy down there. A lot of cherries are getting close, but not into that top left corner basket. Oh, he was very fortunate not to kiss into that yellow. But there's a pathway down the cushion, past the pink, for this red. As well, Prathamesh, and he lifts that head a little bit, and also watch if we can see him next time. Watch his bridge hand. He just lifts that ring finger up a little bit when he's shooting. Prathamesh, a great analyst. Always love his time in the booth. Really can analyze and give great insight into a player's psyche. I was just checking if that's a touching ball situation. It's got a little messy, this frame. Certainly there's a triangle of fear up there with the bulk colors. If you can get into that triangle, you're going to give your opponent a lot of headaches. Good target area to get into for the safe shot. Just pushing that red. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Don't hold up by the yellow, the middle pocket. Seven balls below the black spot. Ouch. Well, now is that a nice long pot to get Ethan going? So Ethan can't convert on that long black. A little pathway for that red that's close to the top left corner. Using the redwoods for this. All the lumber in the northwest. We got a result there. He'll be happy with that. There is just a little bit of a path for Ethan to get by this pink to hit the red. Oh, Prathamesh has found that triangle up there. Just between the brown and the green, there is a gap to go through. But I don't like it for Ethan. It looks tough. I think he can hit a red. The only problem is I think he might be canning another red, and that's going to leave his cue ball down where all these reds are. able to find a red and get him back in the ball. Good eyesight, young fella. Safety shot there. First glance, I just did not see where he was going to be able to get out of that situation and get his cue ball back in the ball, because he's done successfully here. Prathamesh might have a little shot to nothing with those two reds right of the black. The bottom one, the one sticking out a little bit. So he's got enough of that red to try and clip it into the top left corner. We give it a go, but obviously the angle wasn't able there to avoid. And now he might be just in a little bit of trouble. Both players love to get that black or pink back on its spot. Or even the blue. No color bubbles on their spots. Fortunate for Ethan, he's skilled with both hands, right and left. You see it a lot more these days. Players that are ambidextrous. The black coming in might have blocked the path for that red just above the 2 on the top cushion, but does have the red by the black. Shoot 'em up table. So also have this red into the left middle. Can clear that up. Potentially get on a bulk color or just roll into bulk triangle. Is to pull up a bit. Ooh, it's... This ran, I think, a bit too much for him there. Well done. Nice. Ink. But all his concentration in there, I don't think he was really too concerned about where the cue ball was going to land. But now we've got the high-valued colors black on their spots. Reds are open down there. Ethan's probably going to be playing a safe shot here with his cue ball relatively tight to the bulk cushion. Just a cross double here. He's got a little aid from his bulk-colored friends up there. There's a red that's open. Now, let's just take a look at Prathamesh. Watch his head movement and watch that index finger, or that ring finger, I should say. Well, he made the pot there, so Maybe somehow he's hearing me, just of keeping everything still. But just, yeah, notice on a few shots, he just pops up just a little too quick, I found. And that ring finger just kind of lifted off the bays on a few shots. So, got a double on the blue here, potentially. There's the pink, but that's got distance, obviously going from one side of the table to the other. Always tricky. And with that pink, if he is to falter, he could be leaving his cue ball down here. Lots of danger on this shot. Prathamesh taking on the gutsy pink. Well, he's hit it with authority that really left anything easy to start for Ethan. At least the pink isn't safe. It's out in the open, which is nice for both players. Just, I should be able to avoid the in-off. This red. Blind cut. Only 17 points in it, 28-11. It almost looks like a score from a Springbacks All Blacks game. That's the game of rugby. This is actually snooker. And it can happen. Obviously, the maximum amount of points a player can get. Actually, they can get numerous points, but one visit. It's been called a 155. Now, those are very, very rare. The maximum is usually what a player wants, and that's 147. It's 15 reds and 15 blacks and clearing the colors. Here's a question for all you in the chat. How many 155s are out there? Now that's when your player misses, puts you in a snooker, so you can nominate a color ball. There's a free ball. Nominate your color as the one. Take that one on, and then take that black, and then continue on with the 15 reds and 15 blacks and the colors to make a 155. Just a bit too much pace, just kind of this cue ball rolled out of that triangle. Still a dangerous place to be. Oh, is Ethan going to trust the table? Lightly tap on the left side of that red and just hug into the blue. Dangerous shot if he does try it. Oh, it looks like he's successful. Oh, oh, oh. Definitely, I think his heart was in his throat as that shot rolled down towards its object ball. I know both of these players are in action right after this match. We might have one of these players on the TV table again. Prathamesh will be battling Empire Billiards owner and operator CCU, and Ethan Huang will take on the lone Canadian Charlie Brown tournament. So that decision will be made by our tournament director at the conclusion of this match, which match they want to put on for our final batch of round robin matches. And when those come to a conclusion, we'll set up the knockout phase. We'll have 16 competitors left, so. Well, second attempt here for Prathamesh. Successful there. But a delicate shot. I guess that red, the blind cut into the top left corner wasn't appetizing for Ethan. Looks like Prathamesh is just eyeing up this plant here. This is tricky. A little bit of space between balls. One thing he did make sure that he got his cue ball safe up into the bulk area. Might be a little bit of pathway that Ethan's taking a look just to see if this cue ball passes that red in the open and can contact the correct potting angle onto that red into the top left corner. Great long pot. I don't think he's got a color, but he pretty much just can stun into this yellow and hold his position there with the cue ball. That'd be a touch of draw just to get that green to block that path that he might have if he there. So just come to take a look and see where he wants to put his cue ball by that bulk cushion. And I think there's going to be a gap there. I had a feeling that that 71 wasn't going to last for too long. The high break has fallen. It's now at 92, 8 points short of a century. So could we see a century in this tournament? Obviously, as we get into the knockout phases, the matches get a little bit longer. First round and quarterfinals are best of fives, leading up to semis that are best of seven, with the final being a best of nine. But Andy McCluskey, the reigning Seattle Snooker Open champion, has knocked in a 92 to be the high break holder so far. So 16 points in this one. Second frame of a best of three round robin match. Ethan Yuang has the lead in both this frame and the match, just needing one more, but Prathamesh Sawant would love to push us into a decider. just ruled a fraction at the end of that shot. Just don't know if you noticed that, everyone, but just rolled a little bit. Thought it was going to hold in a position where maybe this gap between the green and brown would be there for that red to the right of the black, but the cue ball just kind of curled a little bit at the end there, just making it, let me see, happiness for Ethan and very hellish for Prathamesh, but he's able to. Was able to hit a red, and he didn't sell anything out, so we move on. And actually, both these players, I think they're now seeing it when they've seen the schedule here today. They knew that this match was going to be very important. As we came into the second day, Prathamesh's next opponent is CCU. He's ahead of the group with a mark of 4-0, 4 wins, 0 losses. And Ethan will, in his next match, will be playing Charlie Brown. And at the beginning, Charlie was 2 matches, 1 and 1 loss. Now Charlie has beat Simon earlier today. So he's got a record of 3-1. That's Charlie Brown. So both these players are going to be playing the tops of the group. Prathamesh is ahead a little with the 2 wins. So if Prathamesh is able to win this match, it's going to make him feel much better going against CC. But if he's to lose, it could hurt. Because then both Prathamesh loses this, both him and Ethan will be at 2-2 going into their final match. And the odds makers definitely would be leaning towards CCU winning that match over Prathamesh and Charlie taking out Ethan. But hey, Michael Douglas said, the great actor, more of a fan of sports. As he said, he knows movies. He knows how they're going to end, how things work out. In sports, you just never know what could happen. Champions can fall and underdogs can thrive. And the favorites can win as well. So Ethan here's got a thin cut of the red. Emotion at the end of that shot. Just happy that it did drop. It wasn't clean. It hit a little bit of the horn. A little sigh of relief, and he's on to the black. Like maybe something's a little in his eye line off table. So just getting up, recomposing. Don't know much about Ethan, but I have to say this is feeling like a bit of surprise. Just can't get vert on that long red. Definitely was a tough pot. Prathamesh chilling by 24, 43 on. Very nice red there by Prathamesh. just seems like sometimes he's made some really good shots, and that's what you feel like it's going to get him going because he's definitely a skilled player, but then he just breaks down. He's given himself a chance for a red into the right middle. Certainly will be on the black if this red is to fall. Be low on the black, giving him a natural angle to come out for the yellow. So Prathamesh has got to be looking ahead at that, but now getting on the shot, all systems go. It's only the red that he's concerned about. In that snooker brain, not forcing the issue. Trying to put Ethan in the snooker, maybe get back into this match by getting some penalty points. Little flick that the red took off the brown might be a little bit of an advantage or helpful for Ethan. He might just have to just swerve just a little around the black at the beginning. He's just going to come off the cushion, not try a little bit of swerve. Ooh, just missed the two cushion escape. However, I don't think there's a free ball there. And that will be coming back. I think just a minor adjustment. He's so close to hitting that red. There's a little tip for all you that I found out when you are in a snooker. When you have your cue ball and that object ball red, go find the middle point. From the middle point, point your cue into that yellow pocket. And then bring that alignment back to where your cue ball is and shoot on that line, and that should be able to get you escaped out of a snooker with two cushions. Ethan only needed one cushion to escape the danger there. And he's put a decent cue ball, or a decent red ball, I should say. It has been a marathon of match. I think they just, both players know the utmost importance of it. I think the blue has come to his rescue there. Just use a little slide to swerve around that blue. Make good contact and leave an easy starter as there's Lots of open color balls. Nothing's really safe. Shot there. Always tough to judge those shots when you're putting a bit of side on it, just how much. You don't want to kick it too far or too less. I'd like that red to roll a little bit more. It's thin, but it's certainly there for Prathamesh. Got the red down. He's got a pink over the pocket, just yellow, I should say. He's having a good long think of this. He's just going to maybe roll behind that black. Look like there's a pathway. Oh, there was. Oh, but he followed it in. Dangerous, dangerous shot. Just now makes it a 9-point difference. Brown is big ball here. Such a tough game. He's got it there. So many times we see that all in hand, the yellow's on its spot. They got an opportunity. They just need to get that yellow in, get the break going, and unfortunately falter. I think Ethan breathed a big sigh of relief. Just got to be mindful of that brown that he's queuing over. A bit pacey on that shot. That's given Prathamesh an opportunity for a long yellow. You got a feel for him. You know he's struggling a little bit. Oh. Be a battle of the yellow here. High value colors are out in the open. Brown's gone towards the green. It's all right. Pulled up a little bit. Prathamesh might have been in a bit of trouble. Oh, we'll have to give that pink a little kiss. I think there's still a pathway. I don't think he's got the snooker there, but if he did get it, that was a stroke of good luck. He's got a thin cut into the left middle. That's dangerous. Pressure of this match. It could be do or die. Just looking at the challenge site, that's challenge.com/SSO 25, Empire Ox. Oh, look at this. What a great shot there by Ethan. Great snooker. Chris Lamb has won his match over Simon Wong. So Simon, unfortunately, 0-5 in his campaign. Hopefully he can get back to the practice room and have a better effort next year. But Chris Lamb now has 2 wins to the good. And if Ethan wins this, he'll have 2 wins to the good. And Prathamesh also will have 2 wins. But that does leave Prathamesh battling CCU and Ethan battling Charlie Brown. So this Group B is getting pretty messy. A lot of different scenarios that could come about. This yellow out in the open. And when you haven't potted a ball in a while, it's almost your mind forgets how to pot. You never know. Both definitely skilled players. They definitely can run out the table. Pretty much all balls are getting into the bulk area and below. Only just this yellow on the top side of the table. It's going to pop up for a chance. It's a mid-range shot, but just needs to steady himself. Should be able to make of this, but there's lots of pressure on it. Just taking a look. I think he's got it. I think that brown has just snuck out a little bit just to pee a clear path for that cue ball to hit the green. This is where we could see a big momentum swing here if Prathamesh is going to sacrifice some penalty points to his opponent. Good hit. He's left things safe. Well done, Prathamesh. However, he could be right back in that same position. Seeing if he can clip off the green. Ethan, come off that left cushion, get towards the brown. Valiant effort. Definitely gave it a shot, but everything is safe, so we'd love to get the snooker behind the brown, but making sure everything is safe is not bad second place. Oh, what a shot there. Shouldn't be a hard escape there for Ethan, but fairly nicely done by Prathamesh. That was getting dangerously close, almost to hit the brown into that green pocket, but it just glided past and nestled behind the brown. It's 11 points in it, 25 on the table. Ethan needs green, brown, and blue. And Prathamesh needs them all, and well, it's not the easiest of shots, but it's a shot nonetheless, and I don't think Ethan is going to refuse this. Being able to play with both hands. This is more his natural hand, being the right-hander. That's going to be tough for whoever loses this match. So they're going to have to play a match right after and recompose themselves, because definitely if they can pull up an upset in their next match, help them out tremendously. We'll see if Prathamesh can rebound, take this frame and the next one. He'll breathing a lot easier going into his match against CC, as he'll have 3 frame wins. Or 3 match wins, I should say. It's going to be tough when he's nailing long balls like that. It's brown, and only Prathamesh can tie if he's able to take the remaining colors. So big shot here. Should be able to knock it in. Think about the brown. Get the blue for another time. Oh boy. He's running around. Did he snooker himself? Should be able to get out of it. Obviously he is. Come off the left cushion. Don't want to give yourself unwanted stress in this game. It's stressful enough. It's a nice hit there. So 18 in it, 18 on the table. 1 frame to Ethan, needing just 1 more. Prathamesh just kind of fighting for his life right now. Once again, it's out in the open, but it's going from one side of the table to the other. 7 to 8 feet this shot. Frame ball here, just put your full concentration in this frame and match with this blue. So tricky just to get over the line. So much great work to get there, but just one more step. Oh, that's just devastating. Now with snookers required, Ethan can now just try to roll this blue in. Doesn't have to worry about putting it safe. He puts it in the jaws. It's not the end of the world. No snooker there, but just patience for Prathamesh. Just patience. I think Ethan's just gonna try the long double. Take this blue into the yellow pocket. At least try and get it close. He's trying for the snooker, and he's done a wonderful job there. Great shot. Oh, and I think that's it. There's the handshake right there. Looks like Ethan Huang takes this match 2-0. It wasn't lights out snooker, very tactical, but both these players had a lot on the line. So both now have 2 wins as well. Chris Lamb in this group has 2 wins, but we'll stand by for about 15 minutes. Our next featured TV match either will be Prathamesh Sawant taking on CCU or Ethan Huang taking on Charlie Brown. So this is your cue, everybody. Go get that cold drink on this hot August day, and we'll be right back with our final match of the round robin stage. Going back, Zoe. And welcome back to the Seattle Snooker Open with our last round robin match with 2022 Seattle Snooker Open champion CCU breaking off, going against Prathamesh Sawant, who just lost a heartbreaker to Ethan Huang. It's David Burney in the booth. We're glad that you're tuning in here. After this, we'll be getting into the knockout phase. So this is actually a big match for Prathamesh. You can win this one. Should be able to be moving on. If he loses, there might be a lot of work for the tournament director, as he, Ethan Huang, and Chris Lamb all stand with 2 wins in their group. Ethan is also in his match against Charlie Brown. If you want to check out all those updates on those results there, check out the challenge site. It's challenge.com/SSO25 Empire Ox. And obviously as well, CC would like to win this match, so if he could be 5-0, he'll be atop his division. And this is what we're used to seeing CC just humming along the table. Definitely is a threat, obviously, with the owner and operator here at Empire, so he might have a little inside track. I think CC's in a bit of a tough position now. Definitely a gentleman that can win a frame with one visit. It's a nice recovery shot. Great red. I'd like that to pull up a little bit. Yeah, I'd like to continue the break going, but that just roll up to the green is just right there in front of him. Oh, it's a great brown, just cannon into that green and stopped all the momentum of his cue ball. Again, he's going to need a nice red to continue the break going. So he stopped at 22. Let's see how Prathamesh can respond. Does have a red along the top cushion. Just looking where he wants to put his cue ball to be on that black into the opposite corner pocket. He needed a little bit more pace just to get on prime position for the black. Hitting it a little bit harder is going to make it that much more difficult for pocket to swallow up the red. And we do have a live chat on both our streams here, either on YouTube or Facebook. Feel free to send in your comments or questions and your support. You're rooting for CC, you're rooting for Prathamesh. Put it through the airwaves. The lonely one for Prathamesh. Prathamesh just got to be a little bit mindful with that red. It's above the blue. Doesn't really make the elementary save happen there. CC's having a good long look, willing to hope that the path was there for that red above the black, but unfortunately it's not to be. A little slow on pace there for CC. So, and Prathamesh jump on this opportunity. Starter. He might be a bit quicker of a player than Ethan. I wonder if that would pay an advantage for Prathamesh. I wonder if Prathamesh just got bogged down and started playing the tempo of Ethan. See, a lot of these good players, they do like to get in a rhythm. Use that cue like a baton that they're conducting an orchestra, but unfortunately, brass section is not playing along with Prathamesh as that black does not go in. So you see rather relatively easy open red. Just coming around to see where he wants to be for his next color after the red. Looked like there was going to be a red on that red that was close to the top left corner. So switching tactics, going for a little bit more trickier of a red into the right middle. But as you can see, the result is favor for him as he's nicely on the pink. Ooh. Bit sloppy there by CC. Prathamesh not punished too severely on that miss black. It's got the green into its own pocket. Hold there, he's got a mid-range red afterwards. Mm. It's that by a few inches. I don't think CC's going to mind playing around with the blue. See, black's quite safe and pink's on the wrong side of the table. It's given another red to Prathamesh. CC has, but a 26-point advantage, leading 29-3 in this first frame best-of-3 round-robin match. Looking hopefully to schedule the first round of the knockout phase at 2:30 today, 2:30 Pacific time. Obviously, if we get any updates, if some matches go a little bit quicker. So it's just this match and Ethan Huang and Charlie Brown left to finish off the round-robin side. Yeah, the choice of two just were a bit difficult. At least the one that Prathamesh took on, he could put his hand on the table and didn't need to use the rest. This is a situation, it's definitely looking for the yellow, but in a non-referee situation, in a tournament, unfortunately, CC can't make it. Not a bad idea just to announce it, because where is this yellow headed? Oh, there's now have to find a red in one of the 5 pockets that's available, as that yellow has covered up the top right corner, but definitely an easy pot if someone is successful on a red. Just unfortunately, it's worth a small amount of 2 points, but 2 points could help win a frame. CC pretty steady. I wonder if you maybe just in the for this match, maybe take a quick look at his previous match and maybe heard one of my comments of him just popping up just a little too much head movement, but very nicely struck there. Good pace. Ensured that he hit his object ball. Good hit by CC there. That black has come to the rescue for Prathamesh. It's blocked the entry away. Very nice shot there by CC. Yeah, the route for Prathamesh to get back to bulk looks pretty tough. Oh, looked like a pinball machine. A lot of balls moving around there. It's gifted CC a really great opportunity here. Black is CC's frame ball. You can see as a result of it. It's my head. My 39 with only 35 on the table. Always a chance of a free ball. Can happen with that final red. CC doing the right thing here. Doesn't want to give his opponent any just whiff of a chance. All right, CC, let's see if you can give us the half century. Get a 51. If you can clear the rest of the balls here. It's tough. It's going to make it tough, but CCU takes that frame 63-7. We'll step aside for a short moment and come back with frame 2. Frame Prathamesh Sawant definitely needs to put us into decider and keep his hopes alive of moving on into the knockout phase. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back. And welcome back, everybody. Frame 2 of this last round-robin match between Prathamesh Sawant and CCU. Definitely that last frame was some vintage CC. When he got in, he scored heavily, really didn't give his opponents much chances. There were a few for Prathamesh, and CC's off and going again. Definitely a favorite to win this championship. It'd be the first two-time winner of the Seattle Snooker Open, CC. And he's got a little home advantage as this Empire Billiards is his room, but falters on that blue into the left middle. Those are the gotta take advantage of those, Prathamesh, when the opponent gives you a little bit of an opportunity, especially against a skill player like CC. Gotta keep him in his chair thinking about that last mistake. Put the falter on your first shot on the table, and then he's back before you know it. Very nice, and still CC is on the shot as well. He has a nice deliberate pause in his backswing just before he drives that cue through the white ball. Oh, again, Prathamesh just struggling a little bit to find that killer instinct, putting that first ball in. In a big tournament like this, every pot has its pressure, but I've seen CC make those 99 out of 100 times. We just saw that one time that he faltered. CC's got the redwoods out there. Proficient with all types of equipment. Rest, the long rest, the spider, the extended spider, and sometimes our good friend that comes out, the swan. If we ever do get out the swan on the table, hopefully our great streaming producer Christian can maybe zoom in on that piece of equipment, because there's always high debates of, is it a swan or a slug? So if anyone's out there on the chat, feel free to chime in, thinking what you feel. Well, it's going to be tough for CC to hold for the black, but yeah, CC's definitely a player that's welcome at any tournament. Just when you get a slog of a match beforehand, put him on afterwards, and he just comes to the table and cleans it up like he's going for a walk in the park. He's on there on the top of the screen, our tournament director, Jamie Miller, jumping in, doing a little bit of refereeing, spotting balls, and scorekeeping. If you love watching snooker, being a scorekeeper. Very nice. Did he get enough for the black? Don't think he did. Got the pink, but he's going to have to come up with quite a shot to keep this break going. As you can see, it's at 23 right now. Right. It's a tough red to keep it going. I think he's certainly aware that his opponent is struggling a little bit. Let's see what Prathamesh can do. He's got to do something as those red balls are starting to open up. Pink is quite available too. At least two. Even three pockets. Oh. This is where he's got to keep his composure. The world has opened up for him there. Pink and reds are not bad, and he could be into this frame in no time. I think there's a pathway for this red. It's beside the pink. A bit more difficult using the rest. You had to draw that back. You might have been able to just hold a little bit. Maybe you just got into it just a bit much because that pink does go into the top left corner. So now he's just in an awkward position for his color. Too risky going for the pink. They take on one of the bulk colors, or the blue, or just play safe up there. Lots of hiding spots to get behind. Well, he's very fortunate that he cannoned into that yellow. That deadened all the pace of that cue ball as it missed the green into its pocket. Oh, doctor. CC comes back with a great long red. So I thought Prathamesh might have had a break, but CC definitely knows his way around a snooker table. Oh, that's a little chuckle to himself. How many times do we say that in the game of snooker? Player makes a Herculean shot, and then they come back and they falter on. It had some difficulty, but black was definitely a shot that CC makes a lot more often than he does miss. Sometimes with those great shots, that adrenaline's pumping through your veins. Sometimes it's, you make a really good shot, good idea just to have another walk around the table, settle the nerves, recompose yourself. Watch out for this red. Don't knock that black in. Wow. Definitely Prathamesh sigh. Breathe a sigh of relief there. Now that pocket is out of play there with that black covering it because I don't think there's a path for anything. If a red can squeeze by there, doesn't look like it. Long pot there by Prathamesh. It's hard to tell because it is at the top of the screen far away from us, but it just looked like Prathamesh pinky was kind of up in the air. It seems like sometimes one of his fingers on his bridge hand always just kind of is elevated. We saw earlier that on one shot his ring finger was elevated. Good angle on this green. Take it into its own pocket and come back down the table. Like to be on the left side of the table with a chance for that red into the top right corner. Force anything. It's got a good cue ball. Big miss there by Cece. That red does pass that yellow into the right middle, so I don't know if this is going to go back. Or Prathamesh, I should say. Apologies, just trying to find out a way just how he can get this red in and get on that black to open up that pocket. He does have enough space. Put that black in. Guess it's really close. Really inspect it closely. Does have relatively easy ping. Doesn't want to risk anything. The problem is the reds afterwards. This pretty shade are just a little bit low on the pink, so the natural angle is just going to take him more towards the yellow with his cue ball. Pretty close frame here, 32-30. CC with a slim 2-point advantage with 43 points on the table. It almost looks like whoever gets this second last red could be guaranteed maybe 8 points. But trouble with that last red is it is blocking a bit of the black. It's a great shot there by CC. He's got the snooker on the open red, maybe forcing Prathamesh to clear away this red by the black. Well, if he was going to clear it away, he might have come cushion first, because just rolling it at dead weight like that, trusting the table a lot, might swerve it a little bit, possibly, and hit that red on the wrong side, cannon into the black, but alas, it's not to be. Prathamesh saved himself. Fortunately, that resurrected onto the side. CC made good, and there is a pathway, although it'll be a long one. I think he can go by this green to pocket that black. He's having a good long look at it. When he can't, he's just going to roll it to the green. Vector's on this shot. It's got to hit the red. Doesn't want to hit the red into the black and knock it in. Needs to go. I don't even think it would hit the red if it came off the top cushion. Stage of the tournament. The foul and miss situation. There are 3 attempts. 2 putbacks. Just not sure as well. It might change in the knockout phase. It might move on to unlimited. Obviously, until there's snookers required. CC able to receive 12 points. CC can put his opponent back in from this position if he likes, or he can shoot from there. We didn't bounce around too much with that black and red by that pocket. Prathamesh on his previous shot played a nice snooker. CC made good contact, but unfortunately put the red in a relatively easy potting position for Prathamesh. And with that black over there, he could easily get back. Just maybe the blue might just be a little bit of an issue. The run out. Oh no. Can you believe it? Definitely wanted to roll up, didn't want it to roll up that much, and it just kept going into probably the worst place he wanted to be. Right behind that blue. He self-snookered himself. These are the plays you got to watch with an opponent like CCU when you're in a snooker. It's one thing getting out of it and hitting your object ball. It's just making sure everything is safe afterwards. These are the sickening feelings when you lose a match. One thing to lose to a good opponent, but when you beat yourself that way, just self-snookering yourself. However, he only sacrificed 4 penalty points. Prathamesh did. Still just trailing by 11 points and 27 on the table. Once again, down to the colors. Here we go. Just couldn't find earth there with the brown and green creating a nice wall to get behind. We have a pot on for CC, but great trick miss there, and the result here. May not got the full ball snooker, but he's got like close. So then a fun shot to get out of. I want to hit the jaws. Oh, he's able to fire out of there. But where is all the balls going? Yeah, very tactical game, but sometimes you do have to get creative. Prathamesh might just in the angle that he had at the far horn, the horn closest to the yellow on the previous shot, then hit the other horn in that same pocket and shoot it to go left to right across the table. Alas, he didn't need to do that, and he's forced CC put him into a snooker, and ooh, that's not so great. It's a thin cut. It's a tough shot, but he's got to be mindful of the blue. Just his bridge hand is not flat on the table. This might be the beginning of the end for Prathamesh. Who's to lose here? He'll be tied with Chris Lamb at 2 losses apiece. Not sure of any updates from the Ethan Huang and Charlie Brown match. So if Ethan is able to beat Charlie, both those players will be moving on, but I guess we'll have a tiebreaker with Chris and Prathamesh. I'm not sure how their head-to-head went. Like Prathamesh did defeat Chris Lamb, so that is one of the deciders. Prathamesh does need a snooker as he's trailing by 15 points and there's 13 on. It's nice that the black is somewhat open. Well, he's given CC a long pot. This for frame and match this pink. Oh, he just missed it. Not afraid to shoot it a little gently, just so if it does rattle in the jaws, it's not the end of the world, because he does know his opponent needs a snooker. Oh, this is not the result that Prathamesh wanted. This should be the pink that seals the deal for CCU. And it's there. So there's the handshake, a clean sheet for CCU, 5-0 undefeated in his group. So we still have one more match that's in progress with Charlie Brown and Ethan Wong. So stand by, everybody. We'll just do some adjustments and maybe we can just take a quick look at see how that match is going. So don't touch that dial. We'll be right back. And welcome to that bonus coverage that we promised you all. Charlie Brown taking on Ethan Yuang. It's early in this match, just in the first frame, but they are on the colors. Charlie at the table, trailing 47-21. So 26 points in it, and there's 27 on. Must be some clearance. He took the last red with a brown. Looks like green is the only other color that's just off its spot. And that green just didn't go for Charlie, and as you can see, he's left it out there. He's just trailing by 24, but this green for Ethan will put us into the snooker's required stage. Now all the colors are on their spots: brown, blue, pink, and black. There's practice running the colors religiously. One of the more popular practicing exercises. When he couldn't get the cover. Some nice little flick. Oh, Charlie doesn't want that to go in. Oh, can you believe it? It's definitely playing for the snooker there. This pink blocking the path to the brown. It's just a cruel game sometimes. Oh, and Charlie's gonna concede. He's not gonna take on the try and hit the blue. A surprise there. So Ethan Huang takes that first frame, 50-27. We'll step aside for a few short moments and be right back with frame two. And welcome back, everybody. It's the second frame coming up very shortly with Charlie Brown from Canada taking on Ethan Yuang from the United States. So a lot of scenarios can play out here. Charlie is to win. He'll be the second seed in this group. If he loses, he'll be tied with Ethan in a 3-2 record. But unfortunately, the tiebreaker for seeding purposes, Ethan beat Charlie, so he'll be ahead of him there. And then that will go down. And Prathamesh, Sawant, and Chris Lamb both have 2 wins. And Prathamesh beat Chris in their round robin, so Prathamesh would move on. If Ethan loses this match to Charlie, then we'll have a 3-way tie in third place with Ethan Huang and Prathamesh Sawant and Chris Lamb all having 2 wins apiece. And then we're going to have to do some heavy work because it looks like their head-to-heads is all kind of circled, so it might have to be towards high breaks. Or maybe we'll just have some fun and go to a blue off the spot. Those are always fun tiebreakers, but we'll have to see what the tournament director elects. They'll be looking at their documentation just to confirm that, but we will see what happens. We're off and running here. It's broken off and dangerously almost put that green into its own pocket.